There have been lots of reports that Berta wants Gyokeres, and he's told Mikel Arteta, this is the striker we need to sign.
Chief reporter Kaveh Solokol is back. That says breaking news. What have you got?
Well, this is about... The information we have is that they do not have just one target.
Okay.
I know there's been lots of talk about the fact that their new sporting director, Andrea Berta, wants Viktor Gyokeres. Prolific Sporting Lisbon striker who's got an extremely impressive scoring record in the Portuguese league. And there have been lots of reports that Berta wants Gyokeres, and he's told Mikel Arteta, this is the striker we need to sign. Now, my information is that they haven't yet narrowed it down to one name, which means that somebody like RB Leipzig's Benjamin Sesko is still very much on their radar as well. But what I can tell you is that Mikel Arteta will be seriously backed in the transfer market this summer. He will have at least £100 million to spend, plus any funds that are raised from selling players. It's important to stress that Arsenal, I think, are in a very healthy position financially. They've got no PSR issues. They realise, obviously, that finishing second is not good enough for their fans. They want to back Mikel Arteta so they can win a major trophy next season. That is why I'm convinced they'll be signing a striker this summer. They're very, very confident as well of signing Martin Zubimendi from Real Sociedad. He's a player who Bayern Munich have tried to sign, Liverpool have tried to sign. I am sure that he will become an Arsenal player. They will trigger his release clause, 60 million euros at the end of the season. So make no mistake, this is going to be a big, big summer for Arsenal and Mikel Arteta. He said it himself a couple of weeks ago that this will be a big summer for them in the transfer market. So I know there's lots of Arsenal fans out there putting pressure on the club to spend big this summer. I'm not saying that Arsenal are going to go crazy. They're not just going to throw their money around. They will still be careful, but Mikel Arteta will be backed at least £100 million. I wouldn't be surprised if you take into account the players who could be leaving if their final outlay wasn't close to £200 million.
And you can't get much for £100 million these days.
No, but really? You have to bear in mind you're not paying that all at once.
No, I suppose.
You know, I don't want to become an accountant and start talking about, you know, how players are paid for,
yes,
but it's done over the terms of their contract. Yeah. So it's not as if they need to put all the money down on the table.
Yeah.
But I think Arsenal, at least £100 million, maybe even closer to £200 million. So potentially good news for Arsenal fans.
Right. Let's get straight into it. There's quite a bit of buzz around Rodrigo goes at Real Madrid and the possibility he might be on the move.
Yeah, those whispers are getting louder. It seems like a genuine point of discussion now.
Exactly. So our sources here are really the latest transfer reports, the rumors flying about. And the main thing we want to explore is, you know, what's driving this potential move and, well, what does it really mean for the clubs interested?
Well, the first thing that jumps out is the context, isn't it? It really does seem linked to Kylian Mbappe potentially arriving at Real Madrid.
Ah, the Mbappe factor.
Right. His expected arrival could really squeeze playing time for others, even someone like Rodrigo. So players start looking at their options. It shows you how one big transfer can create ripples.
Absolutely. And Arsenal's name just keeps cropping up in these reports, doesn't it?
It does, and you can see why. They're looking to strengthen, clearly, especially thinking about injuries they've had up front, Gabriel Jesus, even Havertz needing to play there sometime.
Makes sense. They need more firepower, more options.
And Rodrigo brings something specific they seem to value, which is his versatility.
Oh, yeah. Tell us more about that.
Well, the reports highlight he can play, pretty much anywhere across the front line. Left, right, even through the middle if needed.
That kind of flexibility is huge for a manager like Arteta, right? Gives him tactical options.
Exactly. In today's football, managers love players who can adapt, who can fill different roles without needing, 5 different specialists.
Okay, so what about the money side? Real Madrid must want a decent fee.
Oh, for sure. The figures being mentioned are around $100 million. That's the reported valuation from Real Madrid's side.
100 million. Okay, that's serious money. A big investment for Arsenal, even with their recent spending.
It is. But then things got, even more complicated. Manchester City apparently entered the picture.
Man City. Right, okay. That changes things.
It really does. And the number being floated around the city's interest is even higher. Some reports are saying possibly 150 million.
Wow, 150 million. That's quite a gap.
It's a huge gap. And it just, lays bare the financial realities at the very top. Competing with city's financial power, that's a massive, massive challenge for Arsenal, or indeed most clubs.
Definitely. So it makes you think, are there other things that might sway Rodrigo? It can't just be about the money, surely.
Well, probably not just the money. The Premier League itself has a certain pull, doesn't it? It's often seen as the toughest, most exciting league.
True. Testing yourself there could be appealing.
Yeah, a new challenge, a different environment. And also, Mikel Arteta's project at Arsenal. The idea of being a key player in that, in what they're building, that could be attractive too. Don't underestimate that personal connection or the manager's vision.
Good point. So wrapping this up a bit for you listening, there are a few key things to take away from this whole Rodrigo situation as it stands.
Yeah, firstly, it really underlines that domino effect in transfers. One huge move, like Mbappe potentially going to Madrid, doesn't just happen in isolation. It affects others.
Right. And secondly, the financial side is just stark, isn't it? The difference in spending power between clubs at the absolute elite level is, well, it's significant.
It really shapes the market. And thirdly, Rodrigo's versatility. We talked about it, but it's clearly a massive factor in why clubs are interested. Adaptability is prized.
Absolutely. And finally, maybe the most obvious point, but worth saying.
It's all still speculation.
Exactly. Transfer sagas are unpredictable. Things can change really quickly. What we know today might be different tomorrow.
For sure. New information comes out all the time.
So here's something to think about. You've got Arsenal potentially offering a key role in an exciting project, maybe a bit less financially powerful in this specific race. Then you've got City with immense financial muscle. Considering all the project, the league, the money, the competition for places, what do you think might ultimately be the deciding factor for a player like Rodrigo? It's a fascinating look at how ambition, opportunity, and cold, hard cash all mixed together in modern football.